Hi, beautiful people. So, I'm here to talk about the new moon in Aries and what is coming up for me in regards to this transit. So, today is the 19th, Sunday, and tomorrow we'll have a spring equinox. The sun will move into the sign of Aries, and then on Tuesday we'll have a new moon in Aries on a 0 degrees and 50 minutes, which is quite quite interesting because it's obviously 0 degrees. It's all about new beginnings, and Aries is the beginning of the astrological year, so a whole new cycle is going to begin. We also have a lot of new energies because recently, as we know, Saturn moved from the sign of Aquarius, where it was for 3 years. It moved into the sign of Pisces. We also had Venus moving from Aries into Taurus this week. Mercury just yesterday moved from Pisces into Aries to join the party. And also 2 days after the new moon, on the 23rd, Pluto will move into Aquarius, which is the so much talk about theme. And on the 25th, 2 days later, Mars will move from Gemini, where it's been for a long time, much longer than it usually spends in one sign. It will move into the sign of Cancer. So there is a lot of new energies, a lot of stepping into unknown for us, because like this Pluto transit, this is something that's going to be present for 20 years. Obviously, this year it's only for 3 months. And these are huge energies, huge changes, huge transformations, opportunities for transformation. And I'm going to name few transits, but then actually I'm going to focus on what I'm receiving intuitively in regards to this equinox and new moon. So as we know, coming towards this new moon, we had all this energy happening in Pisces in regards to communication, because we had Mercury transiting through Pisces, it conjuncting with Neptune, Sun conjuncting with Neptune, Mercury conjuncting with Sun, and all this squared Mars in Gemini, which is ruled by Mercury, of course. And actually tomorrow, just before Sun will move into the sign of Aries, it will sextile Pluto from Pisces on a 29 degrees 57 minutes, and also Venus will conjunct North Node in Taurus, which is very important because North Node is obviously our destiny, collective destiny, the potential for the evolutionary growth, and also it's ruled by Venus. So Venus is now in her home, in the sign where she's in rulership in Taurus, and she will be conjuncting North Node, and she's the ruler of the North Node. So this is again very important information because it will give us more insights in regards to where we at collectively and what's actually happening for us. In regards to this new moon and the transits it's making, because it's happening on a 0 degrees, majority of the transits are actually out of sign. Well, the aspects are out of sign. So there is an out of sign sextile to Pluto. Tomorrow, Sun will sextile Pluto within the sign because it will be from the sign of Pisces to Capricorn. But once it moves into Aries and conjunct Moon, which is the new moon, it will actually be out of sign sextile to Pluto, but within degree, of course. And also we'll have an out of sign square to Mars. So this new moon will also be square in Mars, but out of sign again. And at the same time, it will be sextile in North Node and obviously trine in the South Node, which is still in Scorpio. And also it's important to mention, as we have all year present Pluto square to the nodes. So that's with whether Pluto is in Capricorn as it is now, or then will be in a sign of Aquarius, it will be square in nodes, the North and South Node all year round. So this is to do with the transits, but what I really wanted to speak about is what I've received intuitively. And actually yesterday was a little bit of a funny day. I know that other people were feeling it too, because some of them were sharing it on their social media. I felt very tired, very spaced out, but then I received a realization of something that it's quite obvious, but it kind of offered me a deeper layer of understanding of something. And as I've been discussing in many videos leading to this one this week, also posted on my social media, with all these transits that's been happening recently, I've been inviting people to to kind of focus on what is the truth, what is the lie, what kind of meaning we give into the information we are receiving, and what kind of meaning we feel that our current experience is actually having, what is no longer relevant, what we want to live in the past, and what we want to take with us into the future. So that the life feels like it's got a deeper meaning for us. But what I actually received yesterday, and it got confirmed today from Amanda Ellis, it's very interesting how we all tap into the same source. I watched video from Amanda Ellis, which she has posted in regards to this equinox and new moon energies. I will post the link below, because a lot of what she talks about is actually what I've been getting as well. And I'm always grateful to receive a confirmation from teachers who's been doing this work for much longer than I. So what I received yesterday, which just clicked for me, was the understanding that we are living in the world that is ruled by information. So pretty much that is the main commodity currently. Information is the most influencing factor and the most sought after commodity, right? Like everybody is after information. Obviously, everybody is after our data. So it's all information. And it's very important what kind of information are we getting, how we processing the information, and what kind of meaning are we giving to the informations that we are receiving on every day, because we are bombarded by information from everywhere possible. And it actually can cause this sense of overwhelm and wanting to escape. So it's all to do with this Gemini Pisces square. Obviously, Mercury just recently was in Pisces, squaring Mars in Gemini. So it's now my understanding of what's been going on has even deeper sense of meaning, because whereas it's not just about the lies and perception of reality, it's all about the information. We're living in an age where information is ruling our life, and it becomes even more prominent because Pluto moving into Aquarius, which is going to be the most transformational thing that probably anybody ever remembered. And Aquarius is air sign, so it's all about the information. As we know, obviously, Uranus will also be moving into sign of Gemini within the next 3 years. And Gemini, again, is about information. Actually, Aquarius is where Mercury, the ruler of Gemini, is exalted. It's its more modern place of exaltation, because it thinks very fast. There is everything is available in Aquarius, all sorts of information from anywhere, right? So going back to what is my understanding of what's going on, is that for me, this last month of Pisces, what it was really inviting us to do was giving us understanding of that, because we are bombarded by information from everywhere possible. The only way we can actually discern what is relevant to us and which of this information we should actually use in order to give us a direction in our life. Mars in Gemini, obviously Mars is the intuitive desire to take action onto something, and in Gemini it's all about the information, about how we think. And for me, it's all about being able to connect to your intuition and to your inner guidance, because there is information from everywhere and you can find everything you want out there, but how to discern what out of what we're receiving is actually relevant and what do we want to do with it, I feel is the only way we can actually do that is through our inner guidance, through intuition, the Pisces connected to the source, to be able to use this information for something that has a deeper meaning for us, because information and everything that we receive in daily is a prana, it's a life force, it's an energy. Energy again is like very Aquarian, it's something that we cannot touch or describe. It just is, it just exists. So with this Pisces slash Gemini and Mercury energies, to me really is all about being able to connect to inner guidance, which is something that's going to be probably the most important thing in the upcoming years, facing the age of Aquarius, Pluto in Aquarius. because otherwise we just get lost. We get lost in all this information, because Pisces is all about, being disassociated and, checking out, wanting to escape all that. And it's very easy to do so because it's easy to get lost in the information, just like, to latch onto the drama, but it's also easy to want to be lost or get lost or just disappear somewhere because it's just too much. It's just too much. And that's why this month of Pisces, I feel, was very important to help us understand that, also with Saturn in Pisces, and while Mercury was going through Pisces, that the logical way of processing or the way of thinking that we were used to or we are attached to from the past, because Pisces is the end of cycle, so it's telling us about the things that we just gone through, the all 11 signs, obviously, that is not going to cut it anymore, because there was the square to the Mars. Mars is the new beginning, is the new direction. So if we want to go into the new direction, go into the future, face the upcoming times, we cannot use the same way of thinking, the same of processing information as we had before, because it's just not working anymore, because we can see that there is so much information out there and it can take you in every direction possible. And how do you know which one is the one you need to go? Which one is the one that would give your life deeper meaning, that would make you feel alive? The only way you can find out is to go within, to check with yourself, to connect with your inner guidance, with your guides, with the source, to ask for help from the other realms, because here it's becoming crazy. It's becoming crazy on this planet Earth, and it's just becoming more and more difficult to be able to discern the truth from the lie, because also, as I mentioned before, everything is true and everything is lie at the same time. It really depends on your point of view, on your perception of reality, on your definition, what is right and wrong, what is the truth, what isn't, because it's all about the Gemini. It's about the polarity duality on this planet. That's what we came here to experience, the opportunity to have the first-handed experience on the good and bad, the polarity and duality, because that's what being here is all about. This is the only planet where we can experience that. So having all these aspects that were being made in the last few days coming up to this new moon, to me is really helping us to helping to guide us towards acknowledging that just to rely on information alone that's coming from the external is actually just going to make you feel more lost and more confused, and that is not the way forward. It's not the way that is going to that we're going to feel supported in the upcoming times. The other thing that came out for me, which is also what Amanda was talking about in this video, which I highly recommend to check, but I'm going to put the link below. I don't want to overwhelm people by sharing videos, so many videos every day. But this video really helped me to understand this current transit from a different point of view, pretty much, because apart from the information and how we decide on what information we want to entertain ourselves with, let's just say, it's also about the inner healing, which obviously is very relevant because the last full moon we had was full moon in Virgo, which was all about the healing, this wound of 2000 years of Pisces, where we feel not good enough. There was this guilt, shame, sense of inferiority, which is why I also shared the video from Teal Swan that she posted yesterday, because Teal Swan is always right on time with all her videos when it comes to transits, about this shame. And that's like the unhealed wound that we have from our upbringing, why do we feel shame about certain things? What is the thing that triggers in us this emotional response of feeling shame? And then also by understanding what's happening and why, we can then heal it. But by not understanding it, we will just lash out and just project it back outwards into the environment, and the opportunity which has been presented by the trigger for healing, internal healing, is just going to get wasted because we just project it outwards again and don't take responsibility. So the other thing that I wanted to mention in regards to this new moon was because obviously it's happening in Aries, and Aries is all about the self-direction, it's self-discovery. It's about trying to figure out who we are and what is the direction of our life, what is the purpose, what is this that would give us a sense of meaning and purpose in life. So with this new moon, it's also the Pisces the Pisces, last month of Pisces led us to recognize where certain things don't work anymore and they need to die, right? But it was also, I think, wanting us to acknowledge and recognize this connection to information. You know, what information, how do we discern the information we are receiving? So it's like two aspects of it. It's like the deeper meaning, and it's also the practical, you know, which is like we're living in a time and age which is ruled by information, and what do you do with this information? How we perceive the information, and how do we like make meaning out of that, right? But with this Aries, I feel that, okay, now that you have a deeper understanding of what's actually going on, what is, you know, what is the truth for you anyway, now is the opportunity for healing that, for integration, for actually focusing on this like creating a new direction, creating a new cycle in our life, not just in the nature, because obviously the new moon in Aries starts the new astrological year, but it's also an opportunity to completely redirect how we live in life in this reality, and everything else that's going on in the world is going to create more and more pressure for the necessity of that happening, because we cannot keep going forward in the same direction, doing the same thing, thinking the same way, because it's just not going to get us anywhere anymore. Because it's also Mercury Mars is going to enter sign of Cancer, which is also about our ego identity. There has to be a new direction when it comes to how we identify ourselves. So it feels that all these there is all this energy that wants to be like reborn, that wants us to understand that things are just never going to be the same again, and we'll need to find a new way. We need to find a new way, but in order to find this new way, first and foremost, we have to acknowledge, we have to go within, and we have to acknowledge ourselves, and we have to heal what needs healing, because otherwise we will keep projecting the same things onwards and outwards, and receive the same result, and that will just keep us stuck in the past. It will not allow us to go into the new direction, which is why the world is in a state that it is. I mean, it's like deja vu, you know, like we've been here before, and how is it possible that human collective hasn't learned the lesson, that we're still in the same situation our ancestors were in, with all these wars and all this damage to each other and to the environment. It feels like we've not learned anything. Like, how is this possible? And that's exactly, you know, bringing us back to the beginning, you know, go back to childhood, go back to the Aries, like what things not gone wrong necessarily, but what was the thing that caused trauma, that makes us respond to life the way that we do, because that is not working anymore. It's not creating a different outcome, a different result. It's keeping us stuck in the same pattern, in the same past, right? And with these new energies that are coming this week, it's an opportunity. There is these new energies, this like not necessarily portal, but it is a portal, new well, because it's spring, right? So it's like an opportunity for new energies to come in, but there is a duality to it. It's obviously is the opportunity for going within and doing the inner work and deciding for yourself what it is that needs to change, and what, you know, new way of thinking or new way of relating or new way of anything we need to do in order to create these changes that we need to create in order to have a different outcome, to have a different future, right? But there is also this distraction by everything that's going on, again, to do with information, that is preventing us from doing that, and is keeping us again in this stuckness of you know, the wound from the past being triggered, this narcissism coming out of us, where it's like, no, it's all about me, and I don't care about anyone else. And so it's this duality, right? There is an opportunity for fresh new start, where we want to be childlike, heal our child, be childlike in a sense of innocence, that, you know, we know we need to create something new, go in a new direction, think in a different way. Like there is this necessity for readjustment and redirection. Also with the Saturn, you know, obviously being in Pisces, we know that the old is being dissolved, and it's just completely we're not able to rely on the old structures anymore. Like, it's impossible. It's just not going anywhere. So it's in Pisces, it's coming to the end of the cycle, it's dissolving. So we understand that. But rather than people going within and now doing the inner work where they actually find themselves, they need to find themselves, they need to find the essence of who we really are on the core level as divine beings, as this crystalline, carriers of crystalline DNA, right? Like, we just get distracted by all this not nonsense, because obviously it is real, it's happening, but we just get distracted by all this information that is so detrimental, which then takes us away from that focus onto birthing this new earth, onto wanting to become this new version of ourselves, which is necessary, right? So we rather just, like, a lot of people will get distracted by all this drama, and it's no coincidence, guys. There is no coincidence why all this stuff is happening now. All this news, all this drama, all this terror and horror, like, it is happening. I'm not saying it's not happening. I'm not saying that it's not true. Like, although, like, we discussed before, what is the truth? Because we don't know unless you're actually there seeing the situation. You don't know exactly what's going on. But it's no coincidence it's happening, because a lot of people will latch onto it. They will get so distracted, and this inner wound get triggered again, and we start lashing out and projecting our unhealed inner child and our narcissistic tendencies that are like, oh, I need to protect myself and I don't care about anyone else, and like, damn these people or whatever, or it's not happening to me, so I'm not interested. Like, it will just distract us from the opportunity that is being presented to us this week with all these new energies, where the Mother Nature is being reborn, and it's saying this is your opportunity for rebirth, for shedding this old skin and letting it go, because all these planets that just gone through the sign of Pisces, obviously Neptune is still there, but it's still got more work to do, dissolving and creating a deeper meaning of life and all that. But anyway, all these planets that just gone through the sign of Pisces, Venus, Mercury, like the Sun, now Sun went through, and it's, like I said, moving into Aries tomorrow. It's created this opportunity for closing one cycle and opening a new cycle, but with all this drama that's going on in the world, it's trying to keep us stuck in this old cycle in the past. Literally, there is nothing new under the sun. Everything that's happening in the world is a copy-paste, is a repetition of what human race gone through so many times before, and it got us to the same point again. It's like a bloody hamster, in the same wheel. Every single time we reacted in the same predictable way, which is the same way majority of people are going to respond now, is going to bring us the same outcome and the same resolution, which is no resolution, because it will keep us stuck in the same situation, which is not going anywhere. It's not helping anyone. It's not healing anything. It doesn't matter who is right or wrong. It doesn't matter who is good or right. It doesn't matter, because at the end of the day, the only person that you have an influence over and you can impact their life is yourself. And this is where people need to take the responsibility to go within and do the inner work. And if every single person on this planet would do that, everything will be finished. All this war, all this separation, division, all this anger, all this hate, it will all be over. Literally, from one moment to another, if people just stop for a minute, and rather than projecting and lashing out and pointing finger and creating more and more hate and separation, if they actually just focus on their divinity of who we truly are and what we are here to do, which is why I shared this video from Dorothy Shelton yesterday, why I shared so many videos this week, to offer people an opportunity for a different perception of reality. So yes, there is absolutely, wars are happening, systems are crumbling now down, there is so much negativity out there, and it is real, and I am part of it. Also, my family is part of it. My family lives in a country right next to Ukraine, okay? It's not like my personal experience is spared of what's going on. Also with the economy, we are all affected, because everybody's got most of the money in their bank account somewhere in the ether, right? Which is not real, obviously. But there is this antidote, there is this other way of seeing this situation, which is from the higher perspective, this Neptune in Pisces. the higher meaning of the Neptune in Pisces, which is that we are all one. We are all from the same source. At the end and core of everything is love. And that is the direction we need to return back to. That's where we came from, and we need to head back towards, back to the same place. And that is telling us that, this, it is real, but it isn't. Because when we all die and return back to the spirit, we realize that this was just a drop of water in the ocean. This whole matrix that we are living in, which feels real because we are in a human bodies having a three-dimensional experience, right? But in the big scheme of things, it isn't real because this is not who we are. This is not who we are. We are a spirit in a human body, having a five-sensory experience, being able to learn. This is a school of life about polarity and duality, but it's not real. This is not something that's going to last forever. As we can see, all these cycles are ending. There is an ending and a new beginning, and this is going to be continuous because this is the law of the universe. Nothing is permanent. Everything is impermanent. There is what begins will always end as well, apart from the universe itself, because there is no beginning and no end to that. But in this three-dimensional reality that we live in, everything that begins has an end. It's a cycle of life, right? But where I was going with this, if you watch this video from Dorothy Shelton, and generally this channel, I find so much balm for my soul from this woman who does such amazing work to try to help people understand that there is so much more that we are not aware of, so much more. And it really offers the perfect opportunity for the polarity and duality, because being surrounded by everything we are surrounded with and being physically present in that, right? And then at the same time understanding, not discrediting, not pushing it away, like bypassing, spiritual bypass, or trying to gaslight ourselves, right? But at the same time understanding that this is not everything there is. There is always the other side of the coin, right? There is always flip side of the situation. And it's so important to be aware of it, especially now in these times that we're living in, because there will be more. There will be more of it happening. There will be more doom and gloom, more information that will be put out there to manipulate us into feeling hopeless, into feeling helpless, into feeling that there is no point of everything, there is nothing we can do. But we can go within, and we can realize that this is not all there is. This is just the physical manifestation, the projection of a thought into the ether manifested, and it's not all there is. And yes, this is happening. It is absolutely happening, and it is impacting some people's life to the extent which is tragic. And it could be me, it could be you, it could be any of us tomorrow. We don't know what tomorrow holds. But just to have the understanding that yes, we are present in this, but it's the same as being in a theater and watching an actor on a stage. We are present in the story, and we feel what the person feels because we are empathetic, because we are, human beings. We have compassion and empathy. But at the same time, we go back to our life, and which is not the story on the stage. It's the same thing. So this which we are experiencing is the story on the stage. We are all actors in this play of life, right? But when we've been taken out of this physical body, when we go back to the spirit, we realize that this is not all there is. This is not actually me. This is just my physical manifestation at the current moment, right? So anyway, so I know that I probably lost most people by this point, but these are the two things that really came to me in regards to this new moon in Aries. And, just to summarize, because I could go on forever and it's already half an hour in. And I don't even know if I'm articulating this properly because there's so much distraction where I am with the music and everything. I can't focus really well. But what I really was trying to bring home was these two aspects. There is the information. It's literally, we are in the war zone already because of the information and the way that we are being manipulated by information. I'm not saying the information you are receiving is right or wrong, is true or lie. I'm not saying. I'm just saying for people to start understanding that until you connect with your inner guidance, anything that's coming onto you, you know, could be anything. Anything could be anything, and everything could be everything, right? So within us being able to use our own discernment and the intuitive guidance that is present and available for every single one of us, we can get completely lost in this overwhelm of information. So that's why it's important to start processing information in a different way. And this is the only saving grace for the upcoming times. In the time of Aquarius, which we're heading into, the AI and the technology we're going to be surrounded more, it's going to be even more present in our life as the time goes on. So this is the polarity. We have this technology and literally the overwhelm that comes from it, because we can, as a physical being, our brain doesn't work in the same way as AI, right? So we cannot compare ourselves to AI, and it can make us feel completely lost and, you know, completely like inferior, like, oh well, what's the point? I can never create what this AI can create. However, the AI cannot connect to God, to source, to spiritual guides, to angels, to all that, right? So to be able to master this, to be able to learn this, and the only way we can learn this is to sit with ourselves and connect with ourselves. Nobody out there can do it for you. Nobody, not any spiritual guide, not any teacher, nobody can do that for you. They can give you the tools, they can give you the guidance, but they can't do it for you. So literally this year that we are at right now, this 2023, which is a transitionary year, where Pluto will just dip its toes to let us know this is how it's gonna be, you know, from now on, things are going to change. And yes, it's absolutely the opportunity for individuation and sovereignty and being true to yourself, being authentic and living a completely different life. But in order to do that, you need to learn to connect yourself, to ground in your physical body, and to connect to yourself, to connect to your intuition. And when you do that, you will not need anybody else to tell you what is the truth or what you need or what you should do or who you should be with, because you will know, because the answers are within you. So that's why this year it's so important, because it's so easy to get lost in all this information drama and this overwhelm and this fogginess and all these lies and deceptions and everything, and the distraction is there and will continue to be there. This is no coincidence, guys. These people that are the awakeners, okay, the shadow players, they are the greatest awakeners, because they are in the twisted way helping us to wake up, all of us. So they're gonna make things more and more difficult until everybody wakes up, because eventually everybody will, right? So there is no coincidence this is happening now. Why suddenly all this information, all this drama, all this everything is happening right now, just on a precipice of entering this new astrological year, which is one of the most important years ever, because it's the preparation for the upcoming 20 years that's going to change humanity forever. Everyone will be changed, everyone. So why is it happening right now? It's happening to distract you. It's happening to take your attention away from yourself. Take your attention to focus on the external and all this that's happening around you, where the only place that can give you the answers and guidance is within you. It's inside of you. So if we get distracted by all this stuff that's happening and all this other people's story, at the end of the day, who cares what this person with this name or that president or that person, what, you know, like it's not your life, it's not your story. Yes, you are being impacted by that, but to which extent is up to you, right? But to get lost over opinions, who is right or who is wrong and what should happen to that person, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, because at the end of the day, that's gonna like having an opinion or point a finger is not gonna resolve your life. It's not gonna give you a direction and guidance for what you need to do with your life and where you need to go and how you're going to make it through the next 20 years. Because if we're going to focus on other people's life, other people's opinions and drama that surrounded us, we're never gonna figure it out because we're never gonna find the time to find the answers within. So that's why this new moon in Aries, it's so important, because it's literally starting up a completely new cycle that's beginning next week. So this is the perfect opportunities under the old circumstances to make different choices. And currently, with all these distractions, it's very likely for a lot of people to make the same changes, make the same choices, which will create the same results. So that's why we still have war in the world, because every single time that happens, every single time there is an opportunity to make a different choice, people take the same choice. and that leads to the same outcome, right? So that's why it's so important. It's so important. And I know that I keep going on around the same thing. And, you know, now with Venus being in the sign of Taurus, is the opportunity to really go within, to heal that inner child, to give ourselves the self-love. Because if you do that, you won't need to point the finger. You won't need to judge someone else. You won't need to call somebody else names, because when you find that forgiveness and the compassion for yourself, you will see that in others as well, because everyone around us just reflects to us what's inside of us, what's within us. They are a mirror. Everything and everyone is a mirror. So if these things within us are healed, then you will not see people the same way, or the circumstances the same way. It will change everything. Everything will shift, which is again what I was sharing in the videos I shared from different creators. It's all about the perception. You know, we cannot go physically into the past and change it, but by healing and changing our perception of reality and the way that we see what happened, we change everything. We change the past that way, and this way we can change the future too. But we'll have to make different choices under the same circumstances. We have to react in a different way. And currently, most people are reacting the same predictable way, which is why this is happening, because these awakeners, they know that. They know majority of people are going to respond in a very predictable way, which is why these things are happening. But literally, if every single person on this planet would just say no, everything will be finished. There will be no war. There will be no war if every single man and a woman, every single soldier would just say, no, I'm not doing this anymore. I'm not killing another child of some woman, you know? Like, this is crazy. It's crazy that now in a year 2023, we're still making the same mistake. It's absolutely bonkers. It's bonkers. Because there's been so many opportunities, and now we cannot get away with it anymore. We cannot get away with it anymore, because we'll either change or we self-destruct. There is no other way. And that's why these energies are, in a painful way, trying to help us. They're trying to support us, because things will become so uncomfortable and so heavy and difficult when it comes to the external, that the only way you will find not escape, but the way that you will find the guidance is the internal, which is where it was all along, but we were just never looking for it there, right? So okay guys, I'm gonna end it here, because I'm just getting worked up about it. But practically it doesn't even matter what transits are going out there, because the energy is the same. You know, the energy is very clear. It's been very clear for weeks. You know, like with everything that led us to this point and everything that's coming from now onwards, which is all unknown. We don't know, because we're stepping into Aries. Aries doesn't know. It's a brand new energy. It's like baby born into the world. It doesn't know what is going to be waiting for it there. Like, you know, it just doesn't know. So this is where we at as a humanity. You know, what's going to happen from now on? Who knows? Who knows? It's up to us, right? But if we are going to make the same choices under the old circumstances, then we cannot expect any different outcome. So it's time to change. It's time to shift the perception and process the information we are receiving in a different way, and receive information perhaps from different resources, right? So anyway, guys, like I said, I'm going to leave it at here. I'm going to go. I wish everybody a blessed week. I wish everybody a lot of strength, because Aries also has a lot of fire. So it could be used to create, you know, it would be used to cook your lunch or to cook yourself, right? Isn't it? So it depends how we use this fire that's going to be coming to us. It's a cardinal energy, new beginning, fire, which is the energy of creation or damnation, right? The hell, whatever you choose to do with it. So I'll speak to you again soon. Have a blessed week. I'll share the video from Amanda in the description. Do check it out. It's very important message in there. And yeah, much love to everyone, and God bless us all. Maybe have a better new beginning this time. Bye guys.